chite te koria rakya. Kari hamane haka Harana kari hamane haka Shri Guru Charane Rati Ese Utamagati Shri Guru Charane Rati Ese Utamagati Prasade Pure Sava Asha Ye Prasade Pure Sava Asha Shakudana Dila Ye Jame Jame Prabhu Se Shakudana Dila Ye Jame Jame Prabhu Se Divya Jnanari De Proka Sita Divya Jnanari De Proka Sita Prema Bhaktiya Hoite Avidya Vinasayate Prema Bhaktiya Hoite Avidya Vinasayate Degaya Charita Degaya Charita Guru Karuna Sindhu Paramajanara Bandhu Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Paramajanara Bandhu Lakana Lakara Jivana Lakana Lakara Jivana Ha Prabhu Karadaya Devamare Padachaya Ha Prabhu Karadaya Devamare Padachaya Hevayas Visukti Bhuvana Hevayas Visukti Bhuvana Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada Papatita Pavana Sri Paralala Sarana Sri Paralala Sarana Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavari Paskachare Zakarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Nayase Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivastari Gaura Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Yadavaya Namaha, Hare Rama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha, Yadavaya Madhavaya, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Madhusudan, Gopal Govinda Ram, Madhusudan, Girirari Gopinath Madanamaha, Girirari Gopinath Madanamaha. Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita, Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita, Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavate Gita, Hare Guru Vaishnava Bhagavate Gita, Shri Rup Shri Sanatan Bhattaraguna, Shri Rup Shri Sanatan Bhattaraguna, Shri Deva Gopala Bhatta Dakta Raguna, Shri Deva Gopala Bhatta Dakta Raguna, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Jai Satchinandana Gaurahari, Jai Satchinandana Gaurahari, Gaura, Gaura, Gaurahari, Gaura, Gaura, Gaurahari, Jaya Satchinandana Gaurahari, Jaya Satchinandana Gaurahari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Radha Shama Sundara, Radha Shama Sundara, Jaya Radha Shama Sundara, Radha Shama Sundara, Radhe. Jaya Radha Shama Sundara, Radha Shama Sundara, Radhe. Nitya Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo. Shigonitai Ki Jai. Jai Om Prabhupada, Monks, Prabhupada, Stoic, Teach Matter Divine Grace. Bye Charana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami, Prabhupada Ki. ISKCON founder Acharya Prabhupada Ki. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadha, Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki. Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki. Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki. Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki. Ganga Mai Ki. Chamuna Mai Ki. Tulsi Maharani Ki. Bhakti Devi Ki. Shri Radhe Sham Ki. Shri Krishna Balaram Ki. Shri Gauranitai Ki. Shri Prabhupada Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.
Shri Shri Radhe Shyam Ki Jai. So I'm reading from Prabhupada Nectar. Calcutta was Prabhupada's hometown, and even in the 70s, when he had ISKCON centers in major cities all over the world, his visits to ISKCON Calcutta brought old friends and acquaintances to see him. One evening he was sitting in his room with old family friends from the Mahatma Gandhi Road neighborhood where he had grown up. They insisted that he come and visit the Radha Govinda temple. Although it was almost 10 p.m., Prabhupada suddenly decided to go, and so he traveled by car along with some of his Western disciples. As he passed his old neighborhood, he pointed out the house where he was raised as a child and the spot where he used to purchase kites. I think this particular place is now acquired by ISKCON. At the Govindaji temple, relatives came forward, embracing him and touching his feet. Old and young surrounded him, smiling and chatting in Bengali. Prabhupada then went before the deity of Govinda, whom he had worshipped from the beginning of his life. Practically everything I have done, he explained to his disciples. Too much talking. Practically everything I have done, he explained to his disciples, is by the grace of Radha Govinda. He recalled his original Ratha Yatras up and down Mahatma Gandhi Road and how his father paid for the festival. Prabhupada said that the same spirit he had imbibed here, he was now carrying on throughout the world in Ratha Yatras and by establishing many Radha Govindajis all over the world. In India, when out walking or traveling, Prabhupada would often deal directly with merchants and laborers rather than allow his Western disciples to be cheated. One day, on leaving the temple grounds in Mayapur, accompanied by a few devotees, Prabhupada approached a rickshawala and asked him how much he wanted for a ride to Navadvip Ghat. The rickshawala said 2 rupees, and Prabhupada told him it was much too high. Why are you asking so much? Prabhupada argued. We are coming to preach. We have brought devotees from all over the world. But the rickshawala said that 2 rupees was the final price. Prabhupada held his head high, turned to his disciples and said, "We shall walk." The contemplated walk was several miles, but Srila Prabhupada began to walk steadfastly, and his disciples joined behind him. His walking pace continued strong and fast for a few minutes, until the same rickshawala drove up, pulled in front of Prabhupada and stopped. Prabhupada stepped up into the rickshaw and went off victoriously at the 1 rupee price. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we'll be having Devamrita Maharaj here tonight. He will be speaking at 7 o'clock, so please come and listen to him. It will also be on the radio and the internet, and we'll also record that. Chandan Yatra is coming up, and therefore we have to start grinding Chandan very early because we need a lot. So Nitai Priya has grinding boards and so forth in the Pujari room, so you can get it there. You can help grinding Chandan for the Lord. We'll be taking down all the tents and clean up that whole area up front from the Festival of Colors this morning. So please join us at 9 o'clock, and we'd like to get all that done today. And Mother Narayani, who is visiting, will be giving the class this morning. Sorry? Mother Narayani. Mother Narayani will be giving a class today. And that's all for today. Anything else? Did I forget something? Here are the devotees who have assisted their Guru in dressing the deities today. Shri Shri Radhe Shyam, dressed by Mother Akuti. Chota Radhe Shyam by Mother Leela. Shri Shri Krishna Balaram, Mother Ashta Saki. Chota Krishna Balaram, Mother Govinda Mohini. Shri Shri Gaurnitai, Devarata Prabhu. Chota Gaurnitai by Mother Madhuri Gopi. and the Gurus and Lord Nrsingadev were addressed by Ram Narayan Prabhu. And I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Mother Narayani very much for coming and giving us her association, and also giving us a 2-day seminar, and also she'll be speaking again today.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jai Balaram Girivararani Gopi Jai Balaram Girivararani Yashodanandana Rajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Rajajanaranjana Jamunatira Vannachari Jamunatira Vannachari Jaya Rama Dava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Sripad Paramahansa Jagadishaya Skutisara Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Garanga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 39, verses 39 to 45, Akura's vision. So I'll read verses 39 and then 42, 43 we will chant together. I'll read up to 42 and then we'll all chant together from 42. Tatopasprishapaniyam pitamistamani prabham vikshasandam upavajya sarama ratamavishat. Translation. The river's sweet water was more effulgent than brilliant jewels. After Lord Krishna had touched it for purification, he drank some from his hand. Then he had the chariot move near a grove of trees and climb back on along with Balaram. Akurastavapamantyani veshacharatopari kalindyahraramagatya snanam vidivad acharat. Akura asked the two lords to take their seats on the chariot. Then taking their permission, he went to a pool in the Jamuna and took his bath as enjoined in the scriptures. Nimajatasmin salire japan brahma sanatanam tav ivadadishe kuro Ramakrishna saman vito. While immersing himself in the water and reciting eternal mantras from the Vedas, Akura suddenly saw Balaram and Krishna before him. So now this verse will say one line and then you can repeat after me. Taratastau katam iha Sutav anakadum tepe Tahi sweet syandanena sta Ityunmaja vyachastasa. Oh, I just realized it's 44 to 45 we have to chant, not this one. So I'll finish this one, and then we'll chant 44. Tatapi cha yata purvam asinau punarevasa nyamaja darshanam yalme mishakim salile tayo. Translation. Akura thought, how can the two sons of Anakadundabi who are sitting in the chariot be standing here in the water? They must have left the chariot. But when he came out of the river, there they were, on the chariot, just as before. Asking himself, was the vision I had of them in the water an illusion? Akura re-entered the pool. And now we chant together. 44, 45. Bhuyastatrapi sotrakshir Stuyamana mahishwaram Sitacharana gandharvair Asaraya natakantarai Sahasra shirasam devam Sahasra panamalinam Nilambaram vishasetam Shingai setamiva stitam. And chant. Uyasta chakriso Vasvaramalina Ilambara Vishsevam Shingai Shitamiva Stitam. Ladies. Bhuyastatapi satrakshit Stuyamanahisharam Siddharchakantavar Saratakantarai Sahasra Shirasandevam Sahasra Paramalinam Nilambara Vishakshetam Shingaya Shetamidam Stitam Bhuya. Again. Tata api. In that same place. Sa. He. Atrakshit. Sa. Stuyamanam. Being praised. Ahi Ishwaram. The Lord of Serpents, Anantashesh, the plenary expansion of Lord Balaram. Anantashesh, plenary expansion of Lord Balaram, who serves as the bed of Vishnu. Sita Charana Gandharvai, by Siddhas, Charanas, and Gandharvas. Asarai, and by demons. Natha, bowed. Kantarai, who is next? Sahasra, thousands. Shirsam, having heads. Devam, the Supreme Lord. Sahasra, thousands. Fana, having hoods. Malinam, and helmets. Nila, blue. Ambaram, who is clothing. Visha, like the filaments of a lotus stem. Shvetam, white. Shingai, with its peaks. Shvetam, Kailash mountain. Eva, as if. Stitam, situated. Translation. Therakura now saw Anantashesh, the Lord of the Serpents, receiving praise from Siddhas, Charanas, Gandharvas, and demons, who all had their heads bowed. The personality of Godhead, whom Akura saw, had thousands of heads, thousands of hoods, and thousands of helmets. His blue garment and his fair complexion, as white as the filaments of a lotus stem, made him appear like white Kailash mountain with its many peaks. Mukam karati vachalam vangam langate girim yakipam tamam vande shri guru vinatarinam om agana timirandasya gananjara shalakaya chakshumiritam yena tassamai shri gurave namaha. So here we are seeing two forms of Krishna Balaram, one form on the land and another different form in the water. So in the water we're seeing Anantashesh and Lord Vishnu. So one time the cowherd boys also saw two forms of Krishna. And again, this is a Braj story, which I heard in Braj in one Bhagavatam class again. So one time Krishna and Balaram were playing games, and Krishna lost the game, and he had to carry Sridham on his shoulders. But this day, Krishna refused. He said, I'm really tired, I just can't do it. I can't carry you, I'm not going to carry you today. And no matter how hard the boys tried to convince him, he refused. Finally, he was at his wit's end, so he said, anyway, I'm God. That's why I'm not going to carry you today. And they said, yeah, come on, you're God. Tell us another story. So then he revealed to them his Narayan form, and everyone was worshiping him and praising him, but at the same time he was there with the cowherd boys in his form of Krishna. And then the boys said, okay, today you don't have to carry us, but tomorrow you have to carry us. So they weren't impressed by this form. Of course, Akura is in a different mood, so he is impressed. He is impressed by the form of Mahavishnu and Ananta. So actually, according to the Acharyas, Vishnu Chakravarti, Akura is worshipping Vishnu. So when he went into the water, he saw his worshipable Ishtadev. He saw his deity, Vishnu. And to hold his attention, he showed that form surrounded from head to foot with servants. Now, actually, the next 13 verses are going to describe the Vishnu form, but these two verses, 44 and 45, are describing Anantashesh. They're especially describing Anantashesh, 1,000 hoods, crowns, like Mount Kailash. So, in Yamuna, he saw their expansions. This verse is about Anantashesh. Anantashesh is a form of Balaram. So today's class is going to be about Balaram. And he just had his Ras Leela, spring Ras Leela along with Krishna yesterday. So I think it's a fitting class to have a class about Balaram today. And not only about Balaram, but all of his different forms and different moods that Balaram has in his different forms, as Lakshman, as Balaram, and as Nityananda, and his relationship to Krishna in these different forms, and also our relationship with Balaram and our relationship with Nityananda. So whenever Krishna comes, then Balaram comes. They're inseparable. When Krishna comes, Balaram comes. When Ram comes, Lakshman comes along with him. And when Gauranga comes, then Nitai comes, Nityananda. So Lord Balaram is the original one. He's the original Sankarshan. According to Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 5, verse 8, he assumes 5 other forms to help Lord Krishna. And he himself helps in the pastimes of Lord Krishna, and he does the work of creation in 4 other forms. So these 5 forms are Mahasankarshan. Mahasankarshan is the form in the spiritual world where he manifests all the different items in the spiritual world. Then we have 4 forms in this world: Karadakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Shudakshay Vishnu, and Anantashesh. 4 forms. So they're responsible for all the spiritual and material cosmic manifestations. But Shesha, he is responsible for service. Now Balaram, his relationship with Krishna is as servant. He's a servitor Godhead. He serves Krishna, Nityananda serves Gauranga, and Lakshman serves Ram. And in all of these forms, he tastes the bliss of service. The same Balaram, Nityananda, is here on our altar. We're very fortunate to have 2 forms of Balaram present before us that we can pray to. And you can meditate on their forms while we hear their glories. You can look at the deities. Look at Balaram, look at Nityananda. So back to Anantashesh, this universe, which measures, according to Chaitanya Charitamrita, 500 million yojanas in diameter, rests on one of his hoods like a mustard seed. So he's Sankarshan. If you read the 3rd canto, it is said that he has 2 functions as Sankarshan in this universe. He is the master of integration, and he's the master of disintegration also. So isn't that interesting? We know that this law of gravity, Srila Prabhupada said, is Sankarshan. He's holding everything together. If it weren't for Sankarshan Balaram, everything would just fly out into outer space. Of course, we know he's holding us on one of his hoods, so we're secure. And he's not going to let go. But at the time of devastation, he lets go. He lets go. He gets a bit angry, and fire comes out of his mouth. And why is he angry? It's described in Bhagavatam that we did not graduate from this universe. The purpose of the universe is for all of us to graduate and go back to Godhead. And if we don't do it, Sankarshan gets angry. And then he burns up the universe, And we get another chance, but we have to wait till the next creation. Now, how is he a servant as Ananta Shesh? What is his service? So he has thousands of mouths, and with his thousands of mouths, he's always chanting the glories of Lord Krishna, and he doesn't find an end to the qualities of Krishna. So he's the first chanter. He's the supreme chanter of the glories of Lord Krishna. If we pray to him, then we can also become good servants. We can learn the mode of service from Balaram in his different forms. He's always chanting the glories of the Lord as Ananta Shesh, and the four Kumaras heard Srimad Bhagavatam from his lips. So he's the origin of the Kumara Sampradaya. This Ananta Sankarshan is the origin of the Kumara Sampradaya. Now there's another verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita that is very specific on his service. So two services we've heard. He's chanting the glories of the Lord, and he's also teaching Srimad Bhagavatam. Now here's a verse, Adi Lila, chapter 5, verse 123. Chatta padukka shaya upadan navasan aram avas yagya sutra singhasan. He serves Lord Krishna assuming all the following forms: umbrella, slippers, bedding, pillow, garments, resting chair, residence, sacred thread, and throne. So, amazing service. He's giving everything that Krishna needs for his life, for his lila. So that's why he's called Shesh, because he's got the ultimate end of service. Now, that person of whom Ananta is Kala, a part of a plenary part, is Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Now, if we go to Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, chapter 15, verse 45, purport. There are two words which are very significant, and these two words explain Krishna and Balaram and what is their relationship with us. How do they help us, Krishna and Balaram? So you can meditate on Krishna Balaram and hear this. Two words, Jnana Asim Achyuta Bala. So Jnana means knowledge. Asim means sword. So Krishna, Achyuta, he gives us the sword of knowledge. This is how it is explained in the purport of this Bhagavatam verse. And Balaram gives us the strength to hold the sword of knowledge. So if we were to pray to Balaram for strength, what would be our prayer? We want to hold the sword of knowledge. So what do we need to hold this sword? Yeah, well, sometimes we have to fight. Knowledge is not much appreciated in this world. So we do need strength to hold the sword of knowledge. So what sort of strength do we need? We need determination, because we'll be tested holding the sword of knowledge. We need steadiness, and we need taste also. We need to have a taste for knowledge. So it is described by one of our acharyas, Vrajendra Nandanaje Shakti Shukta Hoilashe, Balaram Hoila Nitai. So Balaram is none other than Nityananda Prabhu and Lord Chaitanya, and they're both very, very merciful, that if we worship them, then we can easily go back to Godhead. They come especially to deliver the fallen souls. Srila Prabhupada quotes in this purport, Papi tapi joto chilo harinama utharilo. As many sinful people there are, they can deliver. So then Prabhupada gives us a very important instruction in this purport of 7th canto. One should accept the sword of knowledge from Krishna and be strong with the mercy of Balaram. We are therefore worshipping Krishna Balaram in Vrindavan. So why are we worshipping Krishna Balaram in Vrindavan? And also, this is new Raman Reti. Why are we worshipping Krishna and Balaram? Because we get the sword of knowledge from Krishna, and we get strength to hold the sword from Balaram. So next time you pray to Krishna Balaram, you can say this prayer. Thank you for giving me the sword of knowledge, and please give me the strength to hold it. So there's a very famous verse in Mundaka Upanishad, Prabhupada quotes, Dayamatma balahinena lapyo nacha pramada tapaso vapyalingat itaru payarya tate yas to vidvangs Dashai Satma Vishate Brahmatama. One cannot attain the goal of life without the mercy of Balaram. So Narottam Das Thakur, Nitayar Korana Hobe, Braje Radha Krishna Pave. When you receive the mercy of Balaram, Nityananda, you can attain the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. So all three deities are included here. If you worship Krishna Balaram in the form of Gaur Nitai, then you get the lotus feet of Radha Krishna. So if you don't have connection with Nitai Balaram, even if you're a learned scholar or you're taken a birth in a respectable family, these assets will not help you. So Prabhupada says we must conquer the enemies of Krishna consciousness with the strength received from Balaram. So in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, it is said, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. Armed with yoga, O Bharat, to stand and fight. So the weapon, the sword is mentioned in Gita and Bhagavatam. In Gita, of course, Bhagavatam is the mature fruit of the plant of Bhagavad Gita. Gita is like the seed. But in Bhagavatam, the sword is actually explained right in the beginning of Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 2, what the sword is. Yadana yasina yukta karma granti nibandanam chintantiko virastasya kona korya katara chim ratim. With sword in hand, intelligent men cut through the binding knots of reactionary work. Now here's the sword. By remembering the personality of Godhead. So the sword is remembering Krishna. So in order to get strength to remember Krishna, to remember all the knowledge we've been hearing, we pray to Balaram, Anantashesh, Nityananda. Now according to Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Nityananda formally appeared as Lakshman, and of course he was the first, he seemed to be the first, Balaram's original, but if we look in the time of this universe, then Lakshman was first, and he served Lord Ram as his younger brother, but his activities were full of suffering, and Lakshman had to tolerate so much suffering. So Lakshman was unhappy. He couldn't stop Ram from his resolution, so he remained silent. And if we read Ramayana, we just had the appearance day of Lord Ram, and we heard how Lakshman, when he heard that Kekai had banished Lord Ram from the kingdom, then he was ready to kill Dasharat, his father. He said, I will kill Dasharat. And of course Ram didn't allow him. And then he wanted to do something to Kekai. Of course Ram stopped him. And then later on, when so much trouble and they got Sita back, then he had to take Sita to the forest. And that was Lakshman's duty. Lakshman's the one that had to abandon Sita in the forest. And she didn't even know. She thought, we're going to go see some nice ashrams. And then when they got there, he said, okay, well, I'm not taking you back. So it was quite a shock. And of course, he wasn't happy doing these things. So he had to tolerate because he was his younger brother. So therefore, when Krishna appeared, he became the elder brother. The elder brother you have to listen to. Krishna had to listen, and not only that, he's stronger than Krishna, so he could protect Krishna. Of course, as Lakshman, he was also protecting Ram, but Krishna had to listen to his elder brother. So then Balaram felt a lot better as the elder brother, and he could serve him to his heart's content. He could make him enjoy all sorts of happiness because Krishna couldn't say no. As Ram, he could say, I'm going to the forest, I'm doing this. But as Krishna, no, Balaram could serve him as much as he wanted to. So there's the next verse in Adi Lila chapter 5. Shri Chaitanya Shri Krishna Nityananda Ram Nityananda Purnakare Chaitanya Rakam. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna and Nityananda is Balaram. And Nityananda fulfills all Lord Chaitanya's desires. So 3 moods of Nityananda and 3 moods of Balaram in service to Gauranga and Lord Krishna. The 3 moods are stated here. Kabu Guru, Kabu Shaka, Kabu Bhritya Lila, Purve Janotin Bhave, Braje Koila Kela. Sometimes he's Guru. Sometimes Balaram is Guru, the elder brother. Sometimes he's friend and sometimes he's servant. So Balaram also, he was like that. When they used to play, like roaring bulls, this is the example given. They were fighting and they were fighting together, playing together. Then he was a friend. And sometimes Balaram felt tired and he put his lotus feet on Krishna's lap and Krishna would massage his feet, just like a guru, like he was his guru. And then sometimes Balaram got bewildered, like when Lord Brahma stole the calves' cowherd boys. Then Krishna bewildered even Balaram. He didn't know that it was Krishna who had expanded as all the calves and cowherd boys. So then another time he acted as servant when he went to the Kauravas to try to make peace after one of their sons had been arrested by the Kauravas. I believe it was Samba that was arrested. I can't remember right now. And Balaram heard he heard very heavy words from the Kauravas. You know how they were in a lower dynasty because they were Yadus. They couldn't have the emperorship of the world. And so Balaram said, "What's the value of a throne to Lord Krishna? All the masters of the planetary systems take the dust of his lotus feet on their heads. And that dust makes the holy places sacred. Even Lord Brahma, Shiva, Lakshmi, and I eternally carry that dust on our heads." So in his Leela as Nityananda, in service to Gauranga, he broke Lord Chaitanya's danda. So in that way, he was acting as a superior. Nobody else could do that. Only Nityananda could break Lord Chaitanya's danda. As a friend, of course, they were dancing, eating together, dancing together. And as a servant, he got the order of Lord Chaitanya to go preach door to door. Of course, Nityananda did it in his own way. And he was out, his partner was Haridas Thakur. And Haridas was always complaining to Advaita, who has Lord Chaitanya sent me out with? This Sankirtan partner is very, very crazy. I also had that experience in India, that I had a crazy person for a Sankirtan partner to distribute books in the airport, and she used to jump on the luggage things and go around and sell books. But Nityananda also, I guess she got it, I guess if it's not in Nityananda, then where do we get it from, you know? So I guess she kind of had the avaduta mood of Nityananda. So life, it goes on, the Leela goes on. And Nityananda, Haridas was complaining, you know, that we, just by the mercy of the Lord, we were saved today. He went to preach to two crazy drunkards, Jaghai and Madhai, and they were so angry, we were saved from death only by your mercy. He was complaining to Advaita. And Advaita said, this is nothing special for him. An intoxicated person should join other drunks. He is drunk with Krishna Prema, so he should join the other two. So that was the comment of Advaita. And so Nityananda was like that. As a renunciate devotee, you have no business in such company, he told Haridas. I know Nityananda's character and ability. He will make everyone intoxicated with divine love. Wait another few days. He'll also bring those two into the Vaishnava fold. So another, he's servant, but the Guru is also representative of Nityananda and Balaram. As it is said in Adi Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's quoted from Bhagavatam. Acharya mam vijanayam navamanyata karichet namartya bhuta suyeta sarvadeva mayo guru. One should know the Acharya as myself and never disrespect him in any way. One should not envy him, thinking him an ordinary man, for he's representative of all the demigods. Now the purport is very, very interesting to this verse that Srila Prabhupada wrote. This is Adi Leela, chapter 1, verse 46. So listen carefully. In all the ancient literatures of devotional service and in the more recent songs of Srila Narottam Das Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and other unalloyed Vaishnavas, the spiritual master is always considered either one of the confidential associates of Srimati Radharani or a manifested representation of Srila Nityananda Prabhu. So Guru can represent, is either one of the confidential associates of Radharani or representative of Nityananda. And there's a beautiful verse again in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Jaya Jaya Nityananda Charanarvinda Jaite Painu Shri Radha Govinda. All glories to the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, by whose mercy I have attained Shri Radha Govinda. So we worship Gaur Nitai to go to Radha Govinda, Radha Shyam. They will certainly help us, because Balaram is in charge of removing all the anarthas, the difficult things. If we hear Krishna Lila, then we know that Balaram takes care of two demons, Dhenukasura and Palambasura, who represent pride, arrogance, attachment to sense gratification. And he's the one that will help us to conquer those demons. Lord Shiva worships Balaram in the form of Sankarshan. Lord Shiva is in charge of false ego. So if we can pray to Balaram, Nityananda, to become free of false ego also. Balaram, yes. So how does it happen if we were to have a video camera in our heart? Because everything is happening in our heart. Chaitanya Charitamrita also explains how Gaur Nitai help us, how our relationship with Gaur Nitai help us in spiritual life. There is a very nice verse. It's the second verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodita Gauradai Pushpandau Chitra Shandau Tamonadau. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Shri Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, who are like the sun and moon. They have arisen simultaneously on the horizon of Gauda to dissipate the darkness of ignorance and thus wonderfully bestow benediction to all. So all inauspicious, auspicious activity, all the kinds of activities, karma, auspicious and inauspicious, that are detrimental to transcendental loving service to Krishna are actions of the darkness of ignorance. So here we have even pious activities. But by the grace of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, the darkness is removed and the truth is brought to light. So the first way they do it is by giving us the holy name. And it is said that in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the sun and moon dissipate the darkness of the external world and thus reveal external material objects like pots and plates. But these two brothers, Gaur Nitai, dissipate the darkness of the inner core of our heart. So, they come in our heart. And what happens when they take out the darkness of our heart? It is said, through the actions of these two Bhagavatas, the Lord instills the mellows of transcendental loving service into the heart. Oh, sorry, I missed a verse. They help us meet two kinds of Bhagavatas. And then, by the actions of these Bhagavatas, we get pure bhakti. So when they come, they turn on the light in our heart, and we meet the Guru, and we meet the book Bhagavat, the two kinds of Bhagavatas. That's the mercy of Gaur Nitai. They shine the light so we can see the two kinds of Bhagavatas and serve the two kinds of Bhagavatas. And then, after that, by the action of the two Bhagavatas, we get Krishna praying, we get pure bhakti. So we can pray to Gaur Nitai, Krishna Balaram, that they will capture us and take us away to them in Goloka. Actually, I have a really nice quote here, which I'd like to share with you. And we do have Krishna Balaram. Now, I didn't notice if he has ropes today, but this is in glorification of the ropes of Krishna and Balaram, called the Niryoga Pasha. And that is the ropes are the insignia of Krishna's desire for all of us. Just like he ties the cows up to take their milk, Krishna wants to tie his devotees with his love. So the word Niryoga means to tie tightly. When the creatures of Braj see the rope, they understand Krishna's desire to be engaged in intense loving pastimes. When it's tightly wound on his turban, it means he's achieved success in firmly binding a devotee to his heart. And when the rope is in his hand, loose, or on his shoulders, then that means he's hunting for some fortunate soul who will throw his noose of love on and capture him. So when I see the deities in Vrindavan, I'm always looking for the rope to see, is it there today? Who has it? Krishna has it today, okay. So sometimes, usually in Vrindavan, they both have it. But today it's Krishna. Oh, I see it, yeah, it's yellow. So yes, you can pray to the rope to capture you. I remember when I started my preaching tour 5 years ago, I was a little bit in anxiety. I wouldn't come back to Vrindavan. And so I saw they had ropes, but the ropes The day I left, the ropes were made of mogra flowers. And they were tied, and it was very interesting ropes they had. And I said, please capture me with your rope and bring me back to Braj after I go to Australia. So yeah, when it's on his head, he's got someone. He's captured someone. And when it's loose, then he's looking for someone to catch. So we can capture him just by hearing Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is a very auspicious way to capture the attention of Krishna also. And he'll want to capture us. So we'll stop here. If anyone has any questions or comments on Lord Balaram. Today was Balaram's day. Because the verses were about Anantashesh. And coincidentally, it was his Rasa Leela. And just before the class, someone came to me and said, here's some sweet rice from Balaram's Rasa Leela, Rasa Yatra. So then I got, I thought, wow, okay, confirmation the class should be about Balaram today. Any other? Yes?
Where's that quote from about the ropes?
Yeah, that's from Venugit of Sri Swami. And his book is actually a compilation of the Acharyas, commentaries. So if you look in the book, and then probably in the back there will be a footnote, and you'll see where it comes from.
You said how Krishna is stronger. But
Oh, Balaram.
I mean, Balaram's stronger, but I heard recently, maybe it was on the Prabhupada Glories or something, Prabhupada asked somebody,
Who's stronger?
Stronger, that one?
I don't know, no.
Oh, he said, who do you think's stronger, Krishna or Balaram? And the devotee said, well, Balaram's leaning on Krishna, so Krishna must be stronger.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. That's a good debate. You could have a debate. Who is stronger, Krishna or Balaram? That would be a wonderful debate. And, yes. Who is stronger, Krishna or Balaram? Yes? Question over there? Was that a question? Or were you rubbing your head? Okay. Oh, you were rubbing your head. Two questions?
Well, let us try to sort out the first one. So you said that he is like the gravity of the earth.
Yeah, Sankarshan, Srila Prabhupada has explained. He's the gravity, what the scientists call gravity.
So it means like maybe he is within the earth. Like if we were to explain in a sort of scientific way.
Oh, in a scientific way? How is he the
would
law
you-
of gravity? In a scientific way, because he's the law of attraction. Even the scientists say, planets were attracted to the orbit of the sun. So he's attracting everyone to him. And so it's a law of attraction. Just like magnets. You see the magnet, you'll see attraction, the opposite poles. So he is the law of attraction. But of course, also, everything's on his hood. So there's two ways of understanding it. One is that he's holding everything on his hood, and another way is the meaning of the word sankarshan is to be to law of attraction. They call it the law of gravity. We call it the law of attraction. That everyone is attracted to him. I mean, scientists could understand that. I think law of attraction, if you put it in that way.
And the other point, you said that Akrura worshiped Lord Vishnu. It seems not only him, but lots of Hindus sort of worship Lord Vishnu. Because Krishna doesn't come as the original Krishna in all incarnations.
That's right.
Previous Krishna incarnation, he'd come as Krishna, but not the original Krishna.
Yeah.
So I guess you may say that's a reason.
Lots of Hindus worship Vishnu. Krishna doesn't come as the origin. So what is your question?
So maybe because the other Krishna is coming from Vishnu, it means that then Vishnu is superior.
Yeah, well, even Mother Yashoda thinks Vishnu is superior. That's why when Krishna gets in trouble, she prays to Vishnu Narayan. But actually, that's why we need to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, because Bhagavatam gives the list of incarnations, all the Vishnus, everything, and then it says Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. So Krishna is the origin, even though he's in the list, but he's the origin. So because we read Srimad Bhagavatam, then we have superior knowledge. But it's okay if they worship Vishnu. There's nothing wrong with it. They go to Vaikuntha. That's fine. That's fine. They go back to Godhead also, but in a different way. And we have no quarrel with that. But because we read Bhagavatam, because we have Guru, these people, many of them who worship Vishnu, they do not have a Guru in the parampara of Brahma, of the four sampradayas, and so they misunderstand. But it's no need to disturb them. Let them worship Vishnu. It's very nice. Encourage them. As Gita says, don't disturb the minds of those, especially those who worship Vishnu. Encourage them. It's hard in India because they see Krishna as sometimes immoral. He did the rasa dance and all that, so therefore they see Krishna as immoral. Yeah, any other questions, comments? Okay, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.